Hello everyone, today we're talking about something a little different today. You know, I love my indie horror games just as much as anyone else. I like to play these games mainly for the story, as typically the indie games beat out AAA games in terms of lore. I'd say Bad Parenting was one of those indie games, a very complex yet simple and beautifully crafted narrative to explain the true and genuine horror of child mistreatment. Unfortunately, the developer, The Ann, also seems to indulge themselves in child mistreatment, or abuse. I know this topic is brand new and many people are deciding to cover this whole situation, but it's much darker than you'd even begin to believe. 2002 Studios, the studio behind Bad Parenting, a game run by The Ann, also known as Today's Suspect. A 16-page document is created entitled, "Ann is a Predator," and the opening statement starts with, "He's been grooming children, manipulating them, and making them think they're the ones at fault." We must confirm these incredibly disgusting and concerning allegations, and today we'll be using the document made both by the victim and by Bad Parents creator, The Ann's response as well. The document tells us that Ann had received a friend request from someone below the legal age of consent, or in this case, someone 8 years younger than himself. After adding this victim, they began to speak to one another and quickly became rather close in their friendship. While I know in some others' eyes that an adult being friends with a child is fine, why exactly is this acceptable? Why is it acceptable for someone who's barely in their teens to speak or hang out with someone who's almost mid-20s? I don't understand, really. The victim would tell Ann about their personal feelings and personal life. As Ann is an adult and has way more experience in real-life situations and just situations overall, Ann went ahead and began sharing his own trauma and problems with this child victim to establish a relationship of trust, or in my opinion, to start the process of grooming. They had started to date, and please remember that Ann is an adult dating a literal child, a predator by definition. Remember, Ann knew this victim's age and still played it off as they continued their relationship. The victim was too young to become self-aware, and some would say underdeveloped, but this wasn't a problem for Ann, and we know it wasn't a problem for him. In this poorly blurred screenshot here, we see Ann acknowledges the victim as his girlfriend at the time, and this isn't a joke, this isn't funny for someone who claims to be joking. Although you recognize yourself that it's not funny, this runs too deep for it to be considered a joking matter. You also talk about wanting to bite her cheeks and how much you love her, even after. This only further incriminates you, Ann. What are you talking about, dude? In a screenshot provided by Ann's response document, we see a statement sent to the victim where Ann states, "I feel like one of those creeps too," after watching a Predator video where an adult man hangs out with a child. Sad to say, Ann, that no matter what the child confirms for you, you will still be labeled as a predator and a groomer properly for your disgusting actions. Also, Ann, that video should have been your red flag to get out of your relationship with this child's victim. You aren't really helping your case by showing this particular screenshot. In Ann's response document, up next, the grooming and predator definition are shown to us. For someone who claims to know a lot about these definitions, you sure didn't seem to know your whole situation was illegal. Being in a relationship in any state is not acceptable. I guess maybe in your state of mind, I really don't understand what you're thinking by posting this, because clearly you are still a groomer, even if not sexual or explicit, you still did groom this person and you still preyed on them. So what was the point of showing us these definitions? I really don't understand. Also, a counter screenshot was you saying, "Swallow me," and "I want to live inside your belly." That's some freaky crap, dude. And then sending a suggestive blush emoji. I won't lie to you, Ann, there are hidden innuendos behind a blush emoji and your words. It comes across to me as you know what you're doing is wrong, but you're just trying to beat around the truth. There are dozens of more messages in this screenshot of Ann talking about this child's body, specifically her belly, and talks about living inside of her and listening to her stomach. And I'm beginning to think, Ann, do you have a thing for vor or reverse birth? I'm beginning to see a concerning and disgusting pattern here, Ann. Ann's response to the living in her belly claim being sexual was that they were simply talking about a drawing and joking about a drawing that Ann and the victim had made of their characters. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't see any correlation with these drawings or the claims about you living in her belly. So you're telling me that 6 or 7 different occasions you talk about this victim's belly, it's all about your silly little drawings and shipping them? I don't buy it one bit. Good luck trying to sell this to the public, dude. Now, as we can see in this following screenshot, Anne is getting upset about the victim not joining him on Roblox quickly enough. This is most certainly some underlining manipulation, and if it's not evident, I don't know how else to spell it out for you. This is definitely some sort of form of manipulation. And manipulation is a sign, an early sign of grooming. So, it all goes hand in hand. So, yeah, there you go. Now, Anne's response to this was simply that this message was cut to make him look bad, and he attempts to justify the manipulation here by stating that anyone would be upset after waiting for so long. Well, not me, I'm a very patient kind of guy. Usually repetition is used to get a message across, but when you tell someone you love them repeatedly, or in this case, when you say you love a child repeatedly, that you love them countless times, I have to ask, when does this become a joke in your head, Anne? These messages don't look like jokes to me when it's so emphasized that you love this child on several occasions. So I just don't get it, Anne. Make it make sense to me. In this following screenshot, Anne talks about how 18 would be better for their age considering they're still a child. Anne themselves acknowledges this and dares to turn around and call the situation of predatory behavior just drama. Truly, this goes beyond just drama, and it's disappointing that Anne, someone who was supposed to bring awareness to child abuse, would turn around and act this way, and that they can't see it the correct or morally correct way. It's truly frustrating. Now, the rest of An's document focuses on his staff team's faults and concerning behaviors and exposes them from his perspective. He claims that this isn't to shift the blame onto the others, but it most certainly is precisely to do that. We've seen Anne be incredibly self-aware this entire time, so I really genuinely have no doubt that this is just another form of manipulation to persuade the public in his favor. It's to suck up, basically, when in truth, Anne was the one who had sent the concerning messages to a child. There were several instances where Anne's staff members had gone out of line, and Anne, in my professional opinion, had failed to take the initiative as a leader to remove the victim and themselves from those scenes. As you can see, Anne considers themselves to be good friends with this staff member that wanted to lower the age of consent. Not a good look, if you ask me. Another message where we can see that Anne is talking about how beautiful and funny this underage victim truly is, and he states that, well, time will tell, it's okay, you will get it in 4 to 5 years. The disgusting and horrifying implications of this sentence can be boiled down to Anne refraining from wanting to mention the fact that he's in a relationship with someone who is 8 years younger than himself. The victim would have been a legal adult 4 years from the screenshot. This shows that Anne recognizes by definition, that he is a groomer himself. So thank you, Anne, for showing us the definition and confirming our suspicions that you are a predator and a groomer, and you acknowledge it yourself. And again, he talks about the age barrier being a problem between the two of them, and he wants to wait until she's 19 to meet her, which again, as I stated before, this is grooming activities. You're preying on a child. That's all the information we can access for now. A big RIP to Chapter 2 of Bad Parenting, and my heart goes out to the victim for enduring Anne's disgusting actions for so long. I hope you can find some peace wherever you are, and to Anne, who will watch this video because you seem like the type, to be honest with you, I think you should come forward and speak about your actions and just do better. Be honest with yourself. You have a creative mind and you should use it for good and stop using it to deny your actions. Don't disappoint any of us further, as you already have reached a point where you can't come back from your predatory decisions. Anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!